Hello, everybody.
Hello. I feel like a new person.
You've been like a new person all day, and I love that for you.
It.
I love
And
that.
Annie's here.
Yes, our chat. We got a lot of chatters here
I know.
already.
Annie's here with baby Eli.
We get some Annie time.
So you, I have to say, woman, are rocking the live shows.
Oh,
You
me?
are live streaming all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm over here just doing nothing. I'm like,
I may have been a busy lady lately, but we got some days off coming soon, which is nice, but I've enjoyed it. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
I've missed it. I almost want the Karen Reed trial to start over because I miss just popping in.
Don't worry. I'm sure there will be more rants coming up for sure. On that note, let's say hello to everybody. Hello.
Everybody.
Don't forget to hit the like button on your guys' way in. Okay.
Not on your way out. But you know what I learned about hitting the like button? If you've already hit it and you hit it again, it takes away your like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually how that works.
So I have to now watch it and look to make sure I'm not taking away my like. Because when I was doing the drugs thing, not the bad drugs, but the kidney stone drugs, I noticed one day I undid it and then the stream ended and I was like, oh no, can I go back and do it?
Oh no.
Yes, they are. What?
I got my blue.
Oh, thank you. I feel like a new woman. I have makeup on. I even did my hair. Well, I only did the front of my hair. I didn't do the back.
Maybe we should do the intro to the show real quick, and then we can do
wait a minute. We have an intro?
Well, yeah. Well, what we're supposed to say. I know you've been gone for a few days, but you haven't been gone like that long.
You're right. I just assume everybody we're besties. They know, so I don't have to always say, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of True Crime and Wine Time. I am your host, Terry True Crime.
And I'm Loma.
And we dive into some of the most jaw-dropping, horrific true crime stories while being something smooth to take the edge off. So pour a glass, lock your freaking doors, people, and let's uncork the truth behind some of the darkest crimes. I do know how to remember. I do remember that we are supposed to do that.
Fantastic. You did a great job. Nailed it. It's like you haven't been gone that long at all.
Yeah, tell my brain that can't remember anything.
Well, you guys, tonight we will be covering the case of Lonnie Kocontes, a successful attorney with a beautiful wife who went missing on a Mediterranean cruise. That's right. That's why I'm wearing my cruise scarf. I do have a blue and white striped tank top, but you can barely see it. But I'm ready for the seas. What are you wearing, Terry? Normally we don't do this, but we did come dressed with a theme.
I did. I bought the cute little dress that I had bought to wear in Monaco when I went there last October. And I didn't get to wear it to the casino. So I thought Nice, France is kind of close to Italy. So
I love that. Well, before we begin, though, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button like I already told you to, but I'll remind you again. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or drop an episode, because we do a lot of things on our channel. As Terry just said, I'm usually streaming all day, every day, some days, all the days. And if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, please leave a rating and review, as it helps our little pod get noticed. And if you're watching us on Facebook, because we know some of you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to hit the like button there as well. It's all free, guys. It's all free, and it's the best way you can support us. So
okay, I have to tell you, I just laughed because the Nightbot just said every time you hit like, a llama earns a gavel. Do the right thing. What happened to Terry gets a glass of wine? Llama gets a gavel and Terry gets a glass of wine. I mean, llama does get a gavel.
Llama is getting a gavel real soon. It's so cute. I'm so excited about it.
But yeah, Nightbot, could you add that I get wine too, please?
Yes.
Now,
Oh, goodness.
guys, in case you're not aware, it is almost July. And for those of you that are new here, July, I love July because it's
Mm,
my birthday month. But Llama and I will be live in person July 19th in Marion, Ohio, where we will be covering 2 Ohio-specific cases,
mm,
disappearance of Andy Chapman and the
yes.
unsolved murder of Joey LaBute.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets are on sale now, and you can follow the link in the description of this video or in our About section. Space is limited, guys. We are down to, I think, 10 tickets.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
everything else is sold.
It's
So
so
there's
exciting.
10 tickets left. So if you want to come and see us, you need to book those tickets, okay? Because to the best of my knowledge, there's not going to be any standing room because to be honest, guys, I never thought we would even need to consider that.
Well, I am so excited about, hey, 80s. I'm so excited about, excited to meet everyone that's
Yes.
coming to the show. I'm excited to spend the weekend with my besties who I've never got to meet before. I'm excited about all the stuff we're going to do for our members. I can't wait. It's like
I know.
Christmas in July.
It is. And if you are a member, guys, you're not missing out. We will live stream the show. I'm like, what is that? That's a different look. Uh, we will be live streaming the show for our members. So if you can't join us in Ohio, because it is a bit of a trek, guys, I had to look where Ohio was on the map. Okay. Don't judge. Don't judge. Okay.
Only
Don't
slightly.
judge.
It's okay. I
But
forgive you.
you can become a member. We have multiple tiers. Okay. So you could pick a tier. You could buy just 1 month if you want to see our live shows. But the other thing, we are going to be doing some impromptu live streams for members during
Mm-hmm.
the weekend while we're drinking and having fun
Oh
at the
boy.
Airbnb.
Oh boy.
And there will be NDAs for everyone to sign. Just kidding. Just those of us. But so also, if you would like to see us someplace closer to you, please fill out our live event form or you can email me, Terry at tcwtmedia.com, and we will see what we can set up.
Yes, I'm so excited about it.
I know.
Now, as to what we're drinking tonight, as you can see, my tongue is already blue. So all I had in the fridge, because we're going to be out of town the next couple days, so we didn't bother to really pick anything up. So what I had in my fridge, though, was still this Gloria Rocket Pop Margarita mix and some tequila. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't love it, but I'll
But you're
drink it.
drinking it.
Well, it's not horrible,
Okay.
but it's not great, but
Okay. So you're
it's not
not
horrible.
doing an endorsement to run out and buy it.
I mean,
You're saying it's not bad. Now, is Rocket Pop like those red, white, blue
yes,
popsicles?
yes, hence
See,
the
I don't
yes.
like those popsicles.
Yeah, see. Yeah, it's just a little too much for me. I'm not a fan of that compared. Normally I'm a mango girl.
As
And it turns your tongue blue, which is not great when you're live on
say on
YouTube.
camera. Yeah.
But that's all I got. So
Well, I
it's not as
tried.
bad of a decision as Lonnie Kocontes makes, so I'm fine.
No, it's not. No. Now, I'm going to just warn y'all ahead of time. Okay. I am drinking. I have a bottle of wine. And yes, I've already gotten into it because I feel better today than I have in weeks. But I didn't get a bottle of wine from Italy. I did France. And guys, I had to call my older son, Jeffa, to learn how to pronounce this. So, guys, just bear with me. Okay. He sent
Oh,
me
we
the
love this.
pronunciation. So, let's see how I do. Tonight, I am drinking Chateau Le Gordon, and it is from the Côte du Provence, and it is a rosé. Okay, so it says it delivers an elegant and refined profile with bright citrus flavors and delicate notes of red fruit, and that I'm a Texas girl and I don't speak French.
Like that, you did. I mean, you did very well. I'm very proud of you.
It tastes really good. It's going to be one of those that's a little too easy to drink.
Oh,
I mean,
well.
look, and I just opened it.
A little too easy, huh?
I haven't looked to see what the APV is because you're
Mm.
drinking tequila.
Well, tequila and margarita mixed with tequila in it, so it's pretty strong.
Oh, it's not bad. It's only 13.5.
Oh, that's what my margarita is, so
That's not bad.
it's
So
fine. You'll be fine.
it's all good. Now, I have to say, are you really ready for tonight's case? Because
This guy.
I don't like Lonnie. I've only known one Lonnie in my life that I like,
Mm.
and it's not this guy.
I don't think I've ever met anybody named Lonnie. No, I knew someone had a dad named Lonnie, but I didn't really know him, so I have no judgments on the Lonnies out there. This Lonnie's not great. He's not great, but I don't know if he stands for all Lonnies.
He's not. No, because I know a good Lonnie. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Lonnie.
Yes, please do.
Okay, and I know his name is something like Kocontes. I'm going to just call him Lonnie Dick. Okay? I hope everybody's okay with that. I don't think he deserves for me to pronounce his name correct.
Oh
Okay?
boy, look at him.
I mean, that mustache. That mustache.
Don't
Okay?
worry. I don't think anybody's going to be a fan of him by the time we're done, so it's fine.
And I'm just going to say, I somehow am noticing in my notes, somebody added the thing that I kept removing, and I'm going to blame Captain for this.
Nope.
Or is
It was
that
me.
you?
It was
Okay.
me.
So Miss Llama is determined that I tell y'all this piece of shit graduated from law school at University of Texas, Austin with honors. Do not judge us, Texas or Austin people. This guy is not from here. He just went to school here.
Okay.
Well, when I say he's not from here,
Gally.
wasn't living here. Okay. But he did become a successful but very deeply secretive attorney whose polished exterior concealed a very dark and calculating nature. I mean, he's literally a POS. Now, he was known for his intelligence and his work ethic. I mean, guys, he was a workhorse. He once held the respect of colleagues and friends alike. But guys, behind closed doors, he manipulated relationships for personal gain, especially with females, in my opinion. Now, Lonnie met Susan, who was a PI for the law firm Lonnie worked at, and she admired his dedication to his clients. The two became good friends. Susan then met Bill Price, a retired DC cop turned PI. Bill, if you're somehow watching this or see this, call me. I would love to chat with you. I have so many questions for
I
you.
have so many questions for Bill.
I have so many
Or
questions for you,
Susan,
Bill.
even. I mean, Susan,
Even
you're the
Susan.
guy too. Both of them. Come on.
So now the two became partners in an investigation firm, but they also became a loving couple.
Oh,
okay.
Adorbs.
And Bill, like Susan, respected Lonnie, and the two would become like brothers. Now, a little side goog that I did on these two. Did you know she trains dogs for the official dog show? I think it's called Westminster or something like that.
Oh, really?
And he helps set them up and organize them.
I did not know that.
And she's a dog trainer. So that tells you they're really good people.
I mean, look at those dogs. Look how adorable they are. Oh.
So, but they were like brothers. I mean, they had a bromance going on.
I love that. Well, so Lonnie then became interested in Micki Kanesaki, a beautiful paralegal at his office. And yes, she is stunning. All right. Micki is gorgeous. Way out of Mustache Man's league.
Oh, he definitely got lucky.
Well, after working closely together, their professional relationship became a personal relationship. Like a lot of relationships, it was complicated, but it was also marked by affection, ambition, and a growing tension behind closed doors. So early on, they seemed to complement each other well. Micki was reserved and graceful and deeply dependable, while Lonnie was charismatic, assertive, and career-driven. Together, they made a sharp professional couple. They married in 1995, but in a few years' time, the cracks began to show. Friends and colleagues later recalled that Mickey often seemed to walk on eggshells around Lonnie. He was known to be controlling, particularly when it came to finances and major decisions. Mickey, ever composed and non confrontational, often kept her frustrations private, even from close friends.
Now, this is not in our notes, but I kicked your coverage. I have to tell all of the women out there because I had a bestie who was in a situation with a man like this who controlled the finances. Guys, that is not okay.
Nah, it's never good
It
when that
is not
happens.
okay. So I just needed to say that because that bothers me.
You can agree to
You
share
can
your
agree,
finances, but
you know,
when
and you
somebody's like,
can
no, it's
agree to
going
have
to
a
be like
budget.
this, not good.
You can agree to have a budget, but when someone you just spent $300 playing golf and she says, "Hey, I'm gonna go get my nails done for $25," you can't tell her no, she doesn't deserve it.
Right. No, I agree.
So, I just needed to say that because that bothers me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 1999, Lonnie was faced with a legal crisis of his own, okay?
Of
And it
course.
cast a long shadow over both his career and his personal life, okay? Lonnie was accused of having a sexual relationship with the underage daughter of one of his legal clients. Okay.
Not great.
Not great. Now,
Mm-mm.
the allegation was explosive, not just because of its nature, okay, but because it struck at the heart of his professional integrity. And I mean, you think of an attorney, they shouldn't be doing that, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
he adamantly denied the claim, insisting that the accusations were false and politically motivated. Nonetheless, the fallout was swift. Lonnie was fired from the prestigious law firm where both he and Mickey worked.
Mm. What year is this? 1999. Oh, boy.
I
Okay.
mean, I didn't know cancel culture started way back then.
Well, wouldn't this be like the time of like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky stuff? Maybe. No, that was 97, maybe.
I was
Mm,
like,
I don't
I
remember
don't
exactly.
know. 1999 is a year I really try to forget.
Oh, you didn't party like it was 1999? I'm
No,
just
I
kidding.
married
I was like 14.
disastrous husband number 2 in January of 1999, so it was a bad
Well,
year.
bad year. Okay.
So
Now,
let's move on.
throughout the ordeal, Mickey stood by Lonnie's side, reportedly believing in his innocence, or at the very least, wanting to protect what they had built together. To protect their assets during the fallout, though, Lonnie and Mickey divorced on paper, but continued living and operating like a married couple in many respects. They maintained co ownership of their homes, spent holidays and weekends together, and traveled occasionally, leading many in their lives to believe they were reconciling. I've read so many words today, you guys. So reconciling, all right. Lonnie did rent an apartment in downtown LA near his office, but still spent a lot of time at the home he owned with Mickey. Mickey, in particular, seemed hopeful that the worst was behind them and that they could rebuild. She spoke with excitement about their upcoming cruise, seeing it as a fresh start. Tragically, she didn't know that Lonnie was still entangled with another woman, or that that his vision for their new beginning had a far more sinister end.
Now,
Mm-mm-mm.
I don't know. Oh, could you put that picture back up, miss? Guys, I have to tell you, I had to go down a rabbit hole when I saw how much this house cost.
Oh boy. Well, it is California.
I know, but I was like, that is like what it was like when we lived in Brentwood, California. You could literally your neighbors next door in that window, our neighbors were Patty. Patty would call and say, "Hey, you okay?" "No, we're having sex, but thanks."
They
That
could hear
is how
everything.
close the houses are because you can't afford land. $1.5
Mm.
million.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. So, now Lonnie sought out help from his close friends, Bill and Susan, to fight the legal charges from the accused sexual relationship with a minor. They began an investigation into the accusations. Guys, they were able to prove that Lonnie was nowhere near where the minor said the assault happened. All charges were eventually dropped. And that's why I called
Mm,
it cancel culture. I saw someone in the chat said, no, that's consequences. He didn't actually do that. Okay. So
very
everyone's
polite.
innocent until proven guilty. And I think that's something that we fail to remember sometimes
I mean, it's
because
hard.
it derailed his career.
Yeah.
So now Bill Price and Lonnie shared a friendship that at first glance appeared to be built on loyalty and trust. But guys, like much of Lonnie, the piece of shit, the reality was far more complicated. The two met in California where they had developed a relationship. I mean, Bill Price is a nice looking man. Just gonna say, I find him very attractive, but it evolved beyond casual acquaintances. Bill was more than just a friend. He became something of a confidant and later an
Mm.
instrumental figure in the twisted saga surrounding Lonnie's criminal case. Their friendship had been built over years. It would unfortunately be tested in courtrooms and interrogation rooms where Price's role shifted from supportive companion to key witness for the prosecution.
Oh boy.
He threw out the bro code.
Yeah. We'll have to see about that. Oh boy, that is juicy. To be
I
fair,
mean, I'm sorry, I don't know what his age is, but he's attractive older man.
well, in the early stages of their friendship, Bill Price seemed to admire Lonnie's sharp legal mind and persuasive charm. Lonnie had a way of drawing people into his orbit. Intelligent, articulate, and seemingly successful, he often gave off the impression of someone in control. Price, who worked as a private investigator, occasionally collaborated with Lonnie on various professional matters. Note to self, don't do a 3 hour long stream where you read when you have a show a couple hours later because words are then hard.
Okay, I am sorry. Is there I need to know what Annie is selling because then I see something about Annie's going to New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
I need to know when you're going because I might need to drive and see you, especially if you're going to bring the cute little one.
And he's like, nope, that's not.
Okay, I was just thinking, I was like, I mean, a woman who could just give birth and all of a sudden's in New Orleans.
She's partying, but not that kind of party. Now, in early 2006, Lonnie appeared to be making a concerted effort to rekindle his relationship with his ex-wife, Micki. After 4 years of being legally divorced, they had never completely ended their relationship. Lonnie told Micki he was ready for a fresh start, that he wanted to work less, live more, and focus on rebuilding what they had lost. For Micki, who was known for her loyalty and quiet hopefulness, it seemed like a second chance at love. She was excited. She told her friends and family about the surprise cruise Lonnie had planned, a romantic getaway through the Mediterranean on a ship called the Island Escape. Sounds romantic and magical.
I'm like, am I the only one sitting here going, I would love for a man to plan me a trip like that?
Well,
I mean, I will say double H for my birthday when we weren't married yet. We were just dating. He planned me a trip and only gave me hints and I had to guess where we were going.
mm.
He printed out an entire itinerary with pictures, booked everything.
Oh, wow.
Hasn't happened since, but it was great. And I have that memory and I will never forget it.
Yeah, but I think the moral of this story is that you don't want them booking a cruise.
I'm
So
going to say,
maybe.
you don't, not when you're reconciling. Not when you're
Just saying.
reconciling. Okay. Now, at one point before the ill fated cruise, Lonnie extended an unexpected invitation to his friend Bill.
Hmm.
I mean, he told Bill he was planning a Mediterranean cruise, just a short trip, he said, with his ex wife, Micki, because he was considering rekindling their relationship. So Lonnie said it's was meant to be a relaxing getaway and a chance to see if the two could reignite the spark they once had.
Hmm.
Now, and what seemed like a casual gesture, because guys, he had already booked the rooms when he extended the invitation.
Oh, totally normal.
So he was like, it'll be fun and scenic. And who better to enjoy the beauty of Italy on the open sea than with your close friends, right?
I mean, if you invited me on a cruise, I'd probably say yes.
I'm like,
Just saying.
there's only a couple of people I would say no to.
I mean, the boat's big enough. You can lose them. So I'm just saying.
And we're going to find out. You can push them over the edge too.
But as with most things involving Lonnie, there was more going on beneath the surface. According to Bill, the invitation didn't sit quite right. At the time, he felt it was odd that Lonnie would want company on what was supposed to be a romantic reconciliation voyage with his ex-wife. The entire setup felt slightly off. Why bring a third wheel? Why now? Bill politely declined at first, but Lonnie persisted almost too much. And eventually, Bill agreed to the idea, but when Susan's mom had to have emergency surgery, they canceled the trip. I understand. Just a side note for a second.
I know where you're going, and I'm with you.
Somebody once asked me, I think it was my therapist maybe, about going on a cruise. And she was like, oh, would you and Elbow Feet ever go on a cruise? And I was like, by ourselves? Like, really? Just us? I mean, even if it was going to be romantic, like, that is a long time to just be with one other person, Like, it's not like we're going to be romantic out in public. Like, we're not sharing a room.
A honeymoon, I can get because I've done it. But you can't. I mean, you need other people. Now, I will say on a cruise, if you haven't done a cruise, you do meet other passengers. You become friends. My very first cruise to Hawaii back in '89, I still keep in touch with some of the people I met on there. So you do meet other people.
I mean, I lose Elbow Feet in the grocery store. He just runs off. So I know on day one of the cruise, I'm just going to lose him. And then I'm going to be by myself for the next 6 days until he finally comes wandering back as we're about to dock.
But you will go meet some very interesting people.
I'm like randomly talk and meet people. That's not me. I'm not you, Terry. I'm just going to sit there and like not talk to anybody. Like,
I mean, I will say if you're rekindling, what I find so interesting about rekindling, listening to the Dateline, I listened to that episode yesterday. They were legally divorced, but they never ended their exclusive relationship.
Okay.
But I would still say, even if you're having a difficult time in your marriage or relationship, I could see wanting to take friends. Because if things get dicey, you find the magic's not there, you need somebody to talk to and somebody to get rid of the awkwardness, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I don't know. But to those looking in, it looked like a kind and generous gesture. Yet, family and friends were somewhat puzzled by the cruise boat chosen.
Okay. The funny thing I have to say, and Captain, I love you. She removed the comment I made about this. I don't remember what it was, but okay, guys, remember this guy's a multimillionaire. He is an attorney.
That's true.
This is not a luxury cruise liner.
Look at that romance just rekindling everywhere. Nothing says romance like that.
Exactly. So, guys, let me tell you about this ship, the Island Escape. It was built in 1982 as a cruise ferry. So cars went on it. They put cars to take places, okay? And then it was later converted into a mid-tier cruise ship by a joint venture between Royal Caribbean and First Choice Holidays. Guys, it was not like the normal gleaming luxury boats that Royal Caribbean was known for. The Island Escape was a more military style, and it lacked 90% of the upscale amenities found on most cruise ships.
I mean, there's a buffet. I love that they included the buffet in this
There
because
is
I
a
do
buffet,
love a buffet.
but the decor was simple. The staterooms were very small, and the ship did not have the normal safety features. Now, I don't know if y'all saw in the video, the thing that I found interesting on Royal Caribbean, if there's two twin beds, if there's a couple, they will push the beds together and turn it into whatever that
Oh.
makes for a couple. This, you could not put the beds together.
Oh.
You slept in single beds. The bestie's here. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Okay, look at the dress she's wearing in that photo.
I love
I
that.
am wearing the same dress right
Oh,
now.
I love that. I mean, the ship it's not that bad. It's probably
It's not
affordable for many
bad.
people, but he had a lot of money.
He had a
And
lot of
that's
money.
why this is
That's
weird.
why it was weird. It's not that the ship was bad. That is
I
the
mean,
ship that
it could use some work, but it's affordable looking,
it
you
was
know.
affordable looking. But if you're rekindling and you're romantic, instead of paying for your friend's cabin and trying to get them to come on, maybe just upgrade the ship.
Yes. It's
Maybe.
kind of weird.
Now, the Island Escape was scheduled to sail from Spain to Sicily, then on to Naples and beyond. But guys, just get ready, okay? Just buckle
Okay.
up, put on your life jacket, because behind the scenes, there were troubling signs. Like I said, Lonnie had booked 2 cabins, inviting their friends Bill and Susan. Something prosecutors, you will find out later, argued could have been part of an alibi strategy. Because, guys,
Mm.
he insisted on a room with a balcony. And what I'm going to say about that, if you can afford a balcony on a cruise ship, spend the money on the balcony and drink less.
Really?
The reason why, if not, some rooms don't even have a window that's just like the little round hole.
Mm.
You literally feel like you're in your closet and you're locked in there. If you have a balcony, even if it's the size of an apartment balcony, you can get out and feel the fresh air, and you can be out there on port every time you come in and out. There is our famous cabin.
Cabin. From one of our
So
murder mystery parties last June, as a matter of fact, when we had a cruise ship themed murder mystery party in Discord. She did a
that's the one
fantastic
thing
job.
I learned about cruises since I've been on several.
Mm.
Spend the extra money on that balcony if you can, and just don't drink because
Is the
they
drinks not
overcharge you.
included?
No.
Oh.
No. So that's the very
Oh.
first cruise I went on in 89 in school, spring break. We went on a Hawaii cruise. Guess what? We thought the drinks were included. And the night before your last night, they slipped a little bill under your door.
Mm.
And when you pull it up and you look, because you're 2 college kids, right? You're like, it was
Oh.
$2,000 and you had to pay it before you could get off the boat.
See, I was always under the impression drinks were included,
Only
but now I know.
food. But nowadays you can, I've heard, because we haven't been on a cruise in a while, you now can buy drink packages.
Mm.
But yeah, you think about it, each drink is $7. And when you're out by the pool and on that,
It is July 19th. Just Ian asked, dumb question. I will be in Mansfield end of July. When is that wine thing? July 19th is when that is. I love Mansfield's like super close where we're going to be. Side note, I'm going to derail this entire show real quick. It's kind of related, but not. I just remembered it came out Tuesday because I haven't got to watch TV the last 2 days because I've been researching and writing the Crystal Rogers stuff. Okay. Terry, after we're done with the show tonight, go on Netflix. All right. Because the documentary, The Poop Cruise, just came out. And if you don't know what that is,
already been there,
go watch it.
already done it. No,
I haven't watched it yet, but I know what it is.
If you've not been on a cruise, don't watch it. If you have been on a cruise, you can watch it because you can. So Kelly P says she buys the drink pass on Carnival. I mean, I learned that lesson later, but yeah.
I'm just saying if I ever end up going on a cruise, I feel that the universe is going to be like, you know what, llama, poop cruise for you.
Guess what?
What are
So
all
wait.
your worst fears of a cruise that could happen?
So
We're
you
going to
buy
make
the
sure.
travel, you buy the travel insurance, okay? And if you suspect it's like $150 for the cruise. If you suspect there's any problem and you go into a port and you're already seeing some stuff's happening, if you have travel insurance, you can accidentally miss getting back on the boat
Oh.
and they will fly you to the next port. And then when it gets stuck out there with all the poop stuff going on, you're not on it.
Well, after we're done today, go watch that on Netflix, guys, and then leave a comment about what you thought about Poop Cruise for me.
And also, if you also should research your cruise ships, because after Hurricane Katrina, they took some cruise ships and took them to New Orleans for people to live on because of the housing situation.
Oh.
After that all finished, they put them back in service. Do not cruise on one of those ships. I'm going to just tell you, did it? Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do
oh
it.
my, that's some advice.
Yeah, don't do it. I like cruising.
Okay.
So now you tell us why they wanted a balcony.
All right. So Lonnie and his ex-wife Micki boarded the island Escape, okay, in May 2006. To onlookers, they were just another middle-aged couple trying to rekindle what they once had, and the most romantic ship known to man. Once aboard the island Escape, the pair settled into a routine of sightseeing, dining, and lounging. Again, the ship was no luxury liner, but it offered a scenic itinerary. Stops in Naples, Messina, and other Italian ports. Fellow passengers reported the couple seemed mostly calm, though not overtly affectionate. It's not that weird to me.
Look at that statue.
So this cruise sounds freaking awesome. I'd go on this shit boat to go to these places.
The itinerary was amazing.
Worth it. I'll go on the shit boat. But it's not the actual poop cruise. That's a different
poop cruise. That's a different one.
But if I was on this one and it turned into the poop cruise, at least I'm going to really cool places. They were not in the poop cruise. Spoilers. Spoilers. All right. Anyway, there was no dramatic public arguments, no loud disputes. They appeared to be enjoying themselves, at least on the surface. But beneath that calm exterior, something sinister was brewing. Something Micki couldn't have predicted, but perhaps felt on a gut level. Friends back home would later testify that she had doubts about the trip and told someone that she knew she was only going to keep the peace.
Now, I am going to just tell, since one of my besties on here, if any of my besties in real life or our YouTube besties, if you ever tell me you're going on a cruise with your ex to try to rekindle a romance because you're trying to keep the peace, I am going to tell you no, not no, but hell no. I just came untied. And
oh boy.
Oh, okay, hold on. I am going to tell you no. Because if you're going on
a wild cruise
to keep the peace, you don't do it.
So Savage says her and the gargoyle thing have the same expression.
They do, kind of.
So true.
They do. And this,
I love that.
Do not clip that. Do not clip that. Do not clip that. Okay. But I'm just saying, if you need to keep the peace, don't go on it. Okay.
That's true.
Now, on the evening of May 25th, 2006, the couple dined together on board. Now, after dinner, they were seen walking on deck. By the next morning, Micki was gone, guys. Lonnie reported her missing, telling ship personnel that she must have fallen overboard during the night. Guys, just going to tell you, that shit don't happen. Exactly. Shit. I mean, look at this boat. It does not have those big, huge balconies with low bars. Okay.
I don't even see a balcony, but okay.
Now, he claimed they were walking together late at night when she said she wanted to stay out and get some air. Now, I am going to tell you, we didn't include it here. He made several different versions of this. they were more asinine, each one. So yeah.
Okay.
Now, he returned to the cabin alone, he said, and fell asleep.
As one
Guys,
does when their partner is missing.
I mean, one of his versions were they had wine, they came back, were having wine, and then he took Ambien and went to sleep. I mean, he
Well,
is a
then
piece of shit.
how did he know that she fell overboard?
Exactly.
If you're
Okay.
asleep, she could be anywhere on the ship, and your first thing's like, nope, she went in the water.
But he said he woke up only to realize she hadn't returned by morning. Oh, my, what happened?
Oh, wow.
Okay. But search efforts were launched, but they were futile. Micki's body wasn't immediately recovered. And to be honest, guys, they didn't know if they would ever be able to recover her. I mean, look at this. You're rekindling your romance. How are you rekindling this if you're sleeping in separate beds? If you can't lean over and touch the person and kiss them goodnight or let your toes touch, are you really trying to rekindle any romance?
Well, there's a whole bottle of wine in the trash.
Yes, there is. But
that means nothing.
But how are you? I don't get it.
I don't either. Well, after
Ambien Amy apparently needs to confirm.
Abby and Amy is fantastic.
Let's say Lunesta Terry watered the yard naked. So Amy, you bring the Ambien, I'll bring the Lunesta.
Okay.
She's in the background.
Ohio's getting weird.
In case y'all are wondering, Amy's in the background, so we can see her, but y'all can't. So her facial expressions. So Savage just said they had bigger beds and basic training.
I believe it. But look at all those pillows, though. They hook you up on the pillows on this cruise.
I know, but normally if you're a couple, ships can push the beds together. They couldn't on this ship because they were bolted to the walls.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Anyway, so after Micki was reported missing from the Island Escape cruise ship on May 26, 2006, Lonnie returned to California with a composed but somber demeanor. Ship officials conducted a search, but no one had seen anything unusual. There were no cameras showing her alone on deck and no known witnesses to a fall. Lonnie had called his friends Bill and Susan, where he confided in them that he was scared because he felt everyone was being mean to him and they didn't speak English. Meh. He was worried about getting caught up in a foreign court system. So Bill, being the good friend, booked Lonnie a ticket to Tampa, Florida, where he lived. But Lonnie changed the ticket and flew to California instead, telling Bill he just wanted to go home.
Now, I am going to tell y'all, at first, I could totally see if you don't speak the language and you're in a foreign country, I could see being scared and wanting to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't think I would leave that day. That's just me. Okay.
My wife's missing?
Yeah.
I halfway around the world.
And just leave her there. That tells me you know something.
I agree.
But wasn't it Italy? And I could be wrong that I forget the girl's name. She got put in jail for killing her roommate, then got out.
Amanda
Knox.
Amanda Knox.
Knox, yes. So I could see why you would be nervous. I could see. But you're an attorney, for God's sake. You are an attorney.
Right? So weird.
But now, back in California, Lonnie began reaching out to close friends, including his longtime confidant and private investigator, Bill. The calls were frequent, and from the start, Lonnie seemed deeply focused on the legal implications of what happened. Okay, I'm not going to shame him on that. He is an attorney. He probably, we think everything true crime. He probably thinks everything legal.
I think that's more than fair. That's being very, very fair. That's his job. And really, when you have a job like that, it becomes like your way of thinking.
Now,
always.
He did
so it's not that weird.
There were no security videos, no witnesses, and no physical evidence to prove what had occurred. Rather than sounding distraught about this,
Mm,
his tone was matter of fact. He was more concerned about what authorities might try to allege than the mystery of Mickey being gone.
yeah. See, that's the red flag there. That's where you're like, oh, buddy, like I get you when I think of legal stuff. I get it. I'll give you a pass, but what?
Yeah.
What? Come on. Well, according to Bill, Lonnie also asked him to look into maritime law, wondering aloud about what jurisdiction might apply in a case where someone vanishes in international waters. How much do you want to bet that he probably already looked this up before he went?
Absolutely. Now, back
Mhm.
when I think it was in February, JT told us about maritime law
That's
because,
true.
guys, I learned some things as somebody who's cruised several times. I learned some things that were shocking
That is true.
about maritime law. So I'm going to just tell you, if you're going on a cruise, check out the laws and see
Yeah.
who owns the ship.
I don't think people know that. That was very interesting
It was
information
because
for
I just
sure.
assumed an American. I caught the boat in America. Don't we follow American laws?
I just, I, why would Lonnie reach out to Bill? Bill's a private investigator. Lonnie is a freaking lawyer. So why is he not looking at the laws as
I,
opposed to the private
I,
investigator?
I, yep.
Like, what? Why would you even do that? Anyway, so at first, these questions could have been interpreted as the worries of a man afraid of being wrongly blamed. And that does happen, right? Because they always say first, suspect is the boyfriend husband. And there's a reason for that, because statistically it is.
Mhm.
But soon, even Bill began to sense something was off. Lonnie's focus wasn't on grief or closure. It was on strategy, which again, he's a lawyer. So I do give him a
I do.
little bit of grace there. Still, though, without any concrete evidence, no conclusions could be drawn. After all, it could have been an accident. Micki was known to enjoy quiet moments alone and could have lost her balance on the darkened deck. It was tragic, but was it really suspicious? I mean, I don't know.
I
At
mean,
first glance, I don't think so.
I mean, I am that person. I always try to give grace, try to be understanding. I hate it when law enforcement says, "Oh, they were guilty because they didn't act the way I felt they
Yeah,
should have." Until we've been in it, how can I judge somebody when I never been there? But
sure. But then people always say that when people are acting like way out, and you're like, that is not normal at all. Okay, not even close. You can't even get a pass for that. That is,
okay, but
and
I'm
then it turns
always
out that they
extra.
did it.
Okay,
So
but
I'm
I'm
just saying.
always extra. So can you imagine if I am in that situation, the cops are going to be like, "Oh, she did it. She is over the top."
Oh, would you pull a Karen? She's hysterical
I
and
would.
screaming.
So, I mean, people are going to be like, "Yeah, that's just her. That's just her." But
Oh.
now, Lonnie told and he informed Bill that the FBI was going to work the case. And guys, Bill was like, "This is good news."
Yes, the X Files. I love that. You know what I want to do, friends that are listening, is I've never seen the X Files in its entirety. I only
Oh,
saw it like when it was on TV. I've never went back now that, you can stream thing, right? So I've
right?
only ever seen episodes that would like air out of order on TV. We should
You've never
totally,
seen
not in its entirety. I've probably seen maybe like 4 episodes.
that
And
is
that was
all you have
literally
seen
like
of the
25
X-Files?
years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
And you say,
Yeah.
"I'm out of touch
Girl,
because
you
I
didn't even know what
haven't
the labyrinth
seen."
was last night. Stop. Stop
Okay,
it.
you just broke the membership rule.
Oh
You just
no.
shared that we
Oh
called me
no.
out on members only. I've
I
never even
did.
heard of the labyrinth. Okay.
I did. Wow.
Well, let me tell you, Scully made me question my sexuality.
Oh well, I mean, she's fantastic.
She was hot. Okay. She is hot. She is hot. So, anyway, guys, Mickey had gone missing without a trace, and her remains were found miles
Mm.
away. Okay. Now, Italian authorities opened a formal investigation. Guys, U.S. officials began reviewing Lonnie's return, behavior, and financial moves after the trip. Okay. He began taking steps to access joint accounts and investments that he and Mickey once shared. Because remember, when he got in trouble, or he thought he was going to be in trouble, they put everything in her name, but he could still access the accounts. Okay. He said these were tied to their ongoing relationship and shared plans for the future. Some friends believed him, others weren't so sure. I'm not a friend, but I don't believe him. Okay. I don't believe him. Now, as the investigation grew, so did the questions about what really happened on the ship and whether the story Lonnie told was the full truth. Guys, if your partner goes missing, you do not start trying to access bank accounts within a matter of days. You don't call the insurance company.
No.
You
Don't do it
don't. You don't do that because guess what? That makes you sus.
Yeah.
And makes you guilty before innocent.
It's not going to help your case any. We'll just put it that way. Now, Mickey's body was recovered from the Mediterranean Sea around May 27th, 2006. That is the same day that Lonnie left Italy and flew back to California. Interesting, right?
I need to ask a question for the chat.
Sure.
I need everyone to put in the chat, if you are on a cruise with someone you love or were married to and they're missing, I want to know if you would, the next day after reporting them missing, if you would leave. I just need to know because, guys, I would not be leaving.
No way.
So I just need other people because maybe I'm just so extra that I would not leave.
No. Anyway, so an official autopsy was performed on June 16th in Valencia, Spain. I don't know why it took that many weeks for an autopsy to happen. That's a long time, May 27th to June 16th. Maybe it was because it was out on water. There might have been issues of where the jurisdiction goes.
So,
and where does that go?
Josh Mankiewicz, Dateline, they had to ship the body somewhere else from where it was found because they couldn't do it there in that small little Providence. So they had to go through a process to get it there. It wasn't a place that they were prepared to do this kind of autopsy.
Well, then that makes a little bit more sense.
Because that was my question.
Yeah.
And then when I just, watched that yesterday, I saw that and I was like, okay, now that makes sense.
Well, Italian pathologist Dr. Ricci, that's just what I'm not going to try with that first. I'm not even.
What about his first name?
Pietrantonio. Dr. Ricci reported several significant trauma around the base of her neck, deep hemorrhaging bruises consistent with strangulation, not accidental injury. The severe neck trauma was central to the conclusion that her death was caused by foul play, not a fall or drowning. And even more telling was the absence of water in her lungs or stomach. Despite being found floating in the sea, Mickey had not inhaled water, indicating she was already deceased when her body entered the water. He should have known that.
I mean, I have to tell you, but that's one thing I didn't look into. He must have been a corporate attorney. He was nowhere. But now I am more worried. Please tell me you're not talking about Lonnie.
No, Dr. Ricci.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I just needed to make sure we were clear because I was going to assume. Why would we check her armpits?
It's from the Murdaugh trial. Remember, the coroner checked their armpits to see how long they've been dead, which was just so weird.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
Now, Buffy, it could have. Buffy says nobody noticed him strangling her. My guess is it happened in their room, and then he tossed her over the balcony of his room. Is my guess so far in the story of probably what
And
'Cause he
something
got
that
that
we don't
balcony,
talk about
right?
in
You said he
this,
got a balcony, right?
he did.
Okay.
But here's the thing. They did not question the people in the rooms next to them to see if they heard any fighting.
Mm.
And then when Bill and Susan went back on the ship, the cruise company refused to give out the list of passengers, and
Probably
they
'cause I know
couldn't
they
get
messed
it.
up.
And because of maritime laws in countries, they couldn't get it.
Mm.
Now their social media would be able to find out who was on that ship.
Right?
Now, such an absence is a forensic red flag, guys. We all know if there is not water in the lungs, this person did not drown. Okay.
He has
They
fantastic glasses. Sorry.
Petriant, it's Antonio, so it's Petra Antonio Ricci.
All right.
Am I
Way to be a
right?
show off.
Okay, I'm
He's
just
married.
guessing. I'm just guessing, okay? Now, in addition to the strangulation bruises, guys, the autopsy uncovered some other disturbing findings. I want to give another alert that I'm getting ready to say some things that are not very comfortable.
Mm.
Um, there was evidence of trauma to her inner thighs, suggestive perhaps of physical struggle or sexual assault. It was also noted that a skull fracture or brain hemorrhaging, likely from a blunt object, possibly a wine bottle,
Mm.
which added further proof
That
of
was
a
in the trash
violent
can?
encounter. Exactly. Neither of these injuries align with an accidental fall overboard. There was also zero water found, like we said, in her lungs.
Mm.
So, guys, the pattern of trauma, forced strangulation, leg bruising, skull injuries, and lack of drowning, guys, instantly ruled out accidental death or suicide.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, even us people could figure that out.
right. So, when the FBI and the Italian authorities received these autopsy findings, now
What
it's
type
great
of
when the
findings?
autopsy
Okay.
woman, you do
You
not
said
get on.
autopsy. You said
Well, I'm a
autopsy, and I
little
loved it.
autopsy.
I
Okay, I'm a
loved it.
little autopsy right now.
Amos, snap that because autopsy needs to be our word going forward. Anytime it says autopsy, it needs to be autopsy.
In fairness, I have not had a break today. I've read
No,
a lot
honey,
and I
I
haven't eaten
loved it.
anything.
I
Okay.
wasn't shading you. I love it.
Okay. Because I haven't ate yet. So it's going to happen real fast. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so the FBI and the Italian authorities received these autopsy findings and it transformed the investigation. No longer was Mickey's disappearance treated as a tragic maritime accident. It was now unmistakably classified as a murder case. The precise medical evidence became pivotal in steering investigation focus onto Lonnie, the last person with Mickey before she disappeared. Instead, the autopsy report exposed a violent, premeditated act, triggering both U.S. and Italian authorities to intensify their scrutiny and coordination in building a homicide case. Can we put autopsy on some merch? Bali, you're in the chat. Write that down.
Please, I will wear it.
Now, remember when missing girlfriend on a ship, I would complain and stay on the ship and say, well, there goes our romantic getaway.
Dope
Right?
meditations, that
Cindy?
like I said, and this is saying a lot. Hopefully my ex-husbands aren't listening. Even if my ex-husbands fell off of a cruise ship that I was on, I wouldn't leave the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry. There's just something wrong with that.
Yeah, it's really weird and suspicious.
It is.
Okay, so remember when Lonnie disembarked from the island escape in Italy the day after reporting Mickey missing? He didn't immediately return to his California home. Nope. Instead, he took a curious detour and went to Riverside, California, and met a woman. This woman, later identified as Amy Wynn, was not just a friend or a casual acquaintance. She was someone with whom Lonnie had been cultivating a romantic relationship, one that quietly overlapped with his rekindling connection to Mickey. Look at this ladies, man.
Okay. What I have to remind you all, we call it rekindling. They divorced, but they stayed a couple.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. He kept calling
So
it
they were
that.
trying to rekindle. And what he said, that meant living in the same house and no longer living in separate places. Riverside, yeah, I know. My Jeffy used to live there. And there was a shooting in his apartment or in his condo complex. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. Now, the choice to visit Amy rather than heading home to grieve or assist with the unfolding investigation raised eyebrows in hindsight.
Totally normal.
I at the time, Lonnie kept his trip under wraps. Okay, guys, there was no public declarations of love, no explanations offered. He was not on TV crying, saying, I had to leave her. Yeah, there was none of that.
Wow.
Did you like that?
That was good. That was very good. Perfect. Nailed it.
So, to anyone watching, it looked like a grieving man returning home from a tragic accident with no emotions. But, guys, privately, he was taking calculated steps that now suggest he was shifting gears, distancing himself emotionally and geographically from the cruise that he paid for and from Mickey.
Yeah. Again, he's a lawyer. He must not have been a criminal lawyer.
No
At
way.
all.
He had to have
At
been
all.
doing credit collections or something because
Right.
yeah.
He's doing all the wrong things. Now,
Dope
Amy,
meditation.
what
I
did he say?
agree. If
Excuse
you're
me.
already divorced, do not go back. I'm sorry. There's a reason you left. Oh, Lady in Grace says a guy I went to college with got divorced from his wife after he was arrested for embezzlement and put everything in her name before he went to trial, and they stayed together.
Well, she knows where all the money's at. So.
I mean, if he's in prison, it's all hers, right?
Right. Now, Amy, the other woman, for her part, didn't appear to know the full extent of what had happened. Lonnie told her that Mickey had fallen overboard and that the situation was being handled by authorities in Europe. He reassured her, focusing on the future and making promises that painted Mickey as part of the past. It was only after the news broke about Mickey's body being found, which was like literally the next day, and the cause of death confirmed as strangulation, that things took a darker turn. Investigators would later learn that Lonnie began transferring money and real estate assets into Amy's name almost immediately upon returning to California. Definitely makes me think he's some kind of finance lawyer.
Yeah. Now, guys, just so you know, the trip to see Amy wasn't just a romantic detour, okay? It's a big freaking red flag, okay? Or a clue. And it's a clue that suggested Lonnie's priorities were not aligned with the narrative of a man devastated by the sudden loss of a former spouse he was supposedly trying to reconcile with. Instead of staying in Italy to assist in the search or to provide statements to investigators, Lonnie, being the piece of shit he is, was focused on the next chapter of his life. Okay. One that didn't include Mickey. To those who would later reconstruct the timeline, this stopover with Amy would become a piece of a much larger, far more unsettling piece of the puzzle. And guys, stuff that makes me want to scream the F word.
I feel like Terry's gonna pop an F word in here very soon.
Tried. Hey, and this can pop the C word. Me just throwing an F word isn't gonna hurt. But I'm sorry. Wait till you just wait. Just wait, people.
Now, the other woman in Lonnie's tangled romantic history was Amy Huynh, a soft spoken fifth grade teacher originally from Vietnam. Lonnie met Amy online in the mid 2000s. Oh boy, look at that old AF Match.com.
I have
That's not what it
never
looks
been
like
on
now,
Match.
right? I imagine that this is,
I have never been
maybe
on
it is. I've
Match.com.
never been on Match.com. I don't know. Now, Lonnie met Amy online, right, during a period when he and Mickey were still legally divorced, but maintaining an exclusive relationship.
Cheating.
Amy, yeah, right. And remember, he had his own apartment in downtown LA. Amy was warm, trusting, and by many accounts, deeply enamored with Lonnie. I mean, she's a teacher dating a lawyer. Like, of course, right? Anyway, their relationship escalated quickly, so quickly, in fact, that they secretly married in July 2005, a
And
year
mind you,
before this murder.
and mind you, he's still in an exclusive relationship with Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
He's cheating on both of these women.
It's crazy. This guy. Oh,
To the best of my knowledge, nowhere did we see they had children. So at least he didn't
true.
do that. Now, guys, what makes Amy's involvement so shocking? Like, what is it? Shaka? Did I say it right? Shaka? Anyway, was how little anyone in Lonnie's life knew about her. Guess what, guys? Bill Price and his partner Susan McQueen were shocked to discover that Lonnie and Amy ever married and that Amy was ever even in the picture. I mean, it's literally like, oh shit, who is this?
God, this guy.
I'm trying. I mean, he's now Lonnie had kept Amy completely hidden from his circle. He did lavish her with expensive gifts. He bought her a Lexus, a large home, and promises of a future. But guys, that marriage was short lived.
I mean, he can't afford a queen size bed on a cruise, but he can
That's
buy a
why
Lexus.
that's why
Sir.
I said that it was not a luxurious cruise because he was paying for all of that. Now, within a few months, Lonnie quietly divorced Amy and returned to Mickey, framing that Mediterranean cruise as a chance to rekindle their relationship. That's where the rekindle comes from.
He's always about rekindling things.
Mickey had no idea he had been dipping his wick in somebody else's candle.
Oh boy. Well, when our favorite, Bill Price, found out that Lonnie had taken a detour to visit another woman instead of flying straight home after Mickey's disappearance, he was stunned. You know why? Because he's a gentleman and him and Suzanne are perfect and amazing. And Bill was also deeply unsettled. Bill was also furious and told Lonnie this made him look very suspicious. Yes. Yes. Sorry, Doe Meditation says, good thing I watched a lot of trials. I knew where this was going to go.
I know. I'm
right?
like, guys, that is the reason you watch live trials.
To get away. No, that's not why. It's not the reason. It's not the reason.
It's called education. You
Right.
learn about the legal system. You learn about things people do. I'm sorry. It is why
so
you
great.
watch it. You learn.
So, as Lonnie's longtime friend and former private investigator, Bill had always believed he understood how Lonnie operated. But this move it didn't sit right with him. He couldn't reconcile the image of a man who just lost someone he claimed to love with one who, days later, was visiting on new romantic interest and already looking ahead. He would never do that to Suzanne, ever. Or Susan. Oh, Susan. Sorry, Susan. Anyway, so it didn't feel like grief to Bill. It felt like evasion. In hindsight, that detour became a turning point for Bill. It was the moment he began to question everything Lonnie had told him about what really happened on that cruise. Oh boy.
Okay, guys,
Sorry, didn't mean to
this
catch you.
wine might be too good. It's going down way too easy. But I also haven't been able to feel good and enjoy stuff. So don't think I'm being an alcoholic over here, guys. It just feels really good to feel normal. Now, in the months following Mickey's death, Lonnie slipped back into his life with an unsettling ease. Okay. He resumed his law practice and he continued his romantic relationship with Amy. And quietly, as we mentioned earlier, he began maneuvering to gain access to Mickey's financial assets. Now, on the surface, it appeared he was grieving in his own way and moving forward. Guys, everybody has the right to grieve. However, I agree, Lady in Gray. I would punch him in the face.
What a horrible way to be born, with a punchable face. So unfortunate for
but
him.
I don't ever want to say that we don't have, you have the right to grieve your own way. Okay.
Sure. But this way
Now,
ain't going to make you look good. That's for
no.
sure.
But to Bill Price, Lonnie's longtime friend, something just didn't feel right. Bill had been one of the first people Lonnie called after Mickey disappeared, remembered? And Bill helped get him the flight out.
Mm-hmm.
And the tone of that call stuck with him. He, looking back, because hindsight's always 2020, right?
Sure.
Lonnie sounded more concerned about legal implications than the emotional loss. I think Bill started putting into his mind, what would I do if Susan and I had gone on
Oh,
this
yeah.
cruise? And what if this happened to Susan?
Yeah.
How would I have been?
Yeah. Because he's a great guy and a good friend. I mean, he flew him back, through all this. Bill, you're a good friend and a good guy.
Okay. Now,
Lonnie?
guys, hold on to your butts because I'm about to make Llama pissed. Lonnie was a very good friend to Bill at one time.
Really? Oh, okay.
Bill was in the hospital. There were some things going on. Let's just say Lonnie stepped in and made shit happen. All of a sudden, Bill got the care he needed and was entitled to, and it saved Bill's life. That helped kind of cement their friendship. So,
fine. Not everyone's 100% bad. Fine.
Lonnie did one good thing.
That's a pretty good thing.
One. So, and it's a good thing because Bill's here with us today. So,
no, I bet he regrets that.
Try to give.
He probably regrets helping him out.
Probably, but I always try to give people where credit is due, but that's about all the credit I can give to Lonnie. That's about it.
Fair.
Sorry.
That's fair. Well, as Lonnie continued to navigate life post-cruise, Bill found himself in a painful position. Oh, I would be too. Caught between his loyalty to a friend and his instincts as a seasoned investigator. He began to replay their conversations in his mind, noting how Lonnie's words felt more like a careful, curated narrative than a raw recounting of grief. Oh, look at him. He looks sad there, but look at his gold chain, buddy. Okay. I wonder what that is hanging from that. I don't know. I know that's Bill. I know.
It's a dog claw or a dog
Is it? I don't think it's
I don't know. Bill, could you call me or message me and tell me what you're wearing on your Florida shirt?
The focus was always on what couldn't be proven. No witnesses, no video, no evidence, not on what had actually happened. And then there was the timing, the cruise, Mickey's disappearance, and the detour to Amy. It's not looking great.
It's not. Now, Bill and Susan took up Lonnie's case, even though they found some things off, but they were true friends. They began trying to put together the facts on why Lonnie could not have been the person who killed Mickey and that it had to have been another passenger. But guys, as they looked into it, they started to feel a little more unsettled.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I yawned.
It's okay. I just have to say that Annie is probably asleep, and I hope she is sleeping because when you have a new baby, baby sleeps, you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You sleep whenever you can. There's
Now,
no shame in that.
no, you guys are not. Lady Grace says, "Are you boring? Are we boring you, Llama?" No, I just barely slept in the last 3 days, researching, writing all of Crystal Rogers for you guys. So I've gotten very little sleep in the last couple days, actually. But
Guys,
it's
we
okay.
know Elbow
Worth
Feet's
it.
been keeping her awake. What's just,
He's been asleep before me most nights. But now, Bill suggested that Lonnie prove his innocence by taking a lie detector test. Well, guess what? Lonnie failed it. And he failed it so spectacularly that the polygraph examiner asked Bill if he was in on it and then went to say, "You know he's guilty, right?" Yeah, that's saying something. That is bad. That's bad. That's really, really bad. But Bill still wasn't 100% sold that Lonnie had done anything wrong and thought his dear friend had just made some bad decisions and was worried about how he would look because of how he acted, which is fair. I'm not a big believer in polygraphs, so I
I
get
mean,
it.
I am here with Bill because I always try to look to the best in people. And if it's a good
Sure.
friend, I totally would be the same way.
But here's the thing about this. It doesn't say this here, but we already know the FBI was looking into this. That's who was looking into this. And they have their own examiners that do polygraphs, and each of their agents have to go through a polygraph. So in this instance, the polygraph actually does mean something more to me
Yes,
than, I mean, that is a big deal to
it does.
important people have to go through an
And Bill
FBI
used
one. So
someone he knew very well, who was very skilled at this. They asked
mhm.
11 questions, I believe it was.
Oh, wow. That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, he failed that bad. They were like, yeah. And that's why the guy came out. So, the Dateline episode, if anybody, just needs more of this case, it's called something Waters. But I
But
mean,
am
he
I
came
wrong
out.
then? Is it not the FBI who?
It wasn't Bill.
Oh, well, my
Bill,
mistake, listeners. I apologize. I was under the impression that it was
no,
FBI, but
Bill went to a friend
before
who,
the
yeah,
FBI,
and he was the
trying to do this friend
guy
a
was
solid.
one of the top um lie detector guys in the world. So I mean, he went to one of the top. So like the FBI, I believe that said had used him.
Okay, so we're still
And
at the
so
same caliber
we
of
are. So
person that was
he's not
invested.
just
Okay.
it's not like somebody Addison from the Chase Lackey case swears he went to.
Okay.
This was a real person. Open water.
Okay.
Thank you, Captain. But no, the guy came out literally and looked at Bill and like, you're in on this, right? You know, this guy did it.
Yikes.
But Bill is thinking attorney probably didn't answer the questions right because he's thinking this, he's thinking that. I do love that Bill gave the benefit of the doubt. Now, guys, in early 2009, yeah, that was a long time ago. 3
Mhm.
years after Mickey's death, Lonnie asked Bill and Susan to visit his ex-wife, Amy Wynn. So Bill was growing increasingly wary of Lonnie. He and
Mhm.
Susan agreed. But guys, when they arrived at Amy's home, Susan went inside first while Bill waited outside listening from the car as the meeting began. I appreciate
Mm.
that. A woman going, she's been through a lot. She's asked all these questions, so I appreciate this.
Oh, well, I mean, they are private investigators. They do know how to
So,
slide in there the right way. Well, Susan started out gently, asking Amy how she was doing and whether she'd spoken with investigators. But the conversation quickly took a dramatic turn when Amy, visibly shaken, revealed that Lonnie had told her the cruise with Mickey was a setup. That's right, contrary to her earlier grand jury testimony, because there was some of that. Amy now said Lonnie had planned Mickey's death before the trip, and she admitted she had been terrified ever since. I mean, he killed a woman he was married to and lived. I don't blame Amy
Oh, honey,
in
it
the
gets worse.
slightest. Yeah, I don't blame her in the slightest for just being scared.
It gets worse. Okay. What stunned Susan and Bill even more was Amy's next revelation. Lonnie had allegedly told Amy that a well-connected friend helped arrange Mickey's murder. And that friend, Lonnie claimed, was Bill Price. So Susan was shocked, paused, and asked Amy if she knew Bill was listening. Then, guys, Bill entered the room. He directly asked if she believed Lonnie had implicated him. And Amy said yes, explaining that Lonnie had deliberately made her fear Bill and suggested he had dangerous connections. She was scared of more than the fact that he had killed Mickey. He was connected.
Yeah, that's. I do not like that.
I don't like that.
And that moment was a breaking point for Bill. I mean, I'd be like, oh, what? No.
I mean, this is your
no.
bro. This is your friend. This is.
Hearing Amy's confession firsthand made it crystal clear she wasn't lying. Her fear was palpable and her story rang true. Whatever loyalty Bill had once felt towards Lonnie was gone. As it would be the same for me. I'd be like, ooh,
Felicia.
I probably would help you out in this scenario, but like, you didn't even come ask me. So no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, after talking with Amy and the failed polygraph test, for Bill, all of this shattered any lingering beliefs that Lonnie was innocent. Now, you take that with the troubling behavior that Lonnie had exhibited since Mickey's disappearance, his cold demeanor, his legal posturing, and his detour to visit another woman. Guys, Bill was like, yeah, this is something else.
This isn't great. It's not great. It's not great, my friend. It's not great. Recognizing that he could no longer stay silent, Bill contacted federal investigators. That's right, the FBI. He and Susan shared what they knew, including Lonnie's fixation on forensic details and how he disturbingly referred to Mickey as the body during phone calls. And I just want to say, you hear that, McAlberts? It is suspicious when you refer to someone you know as the guy in the snow or some guy. Anything but their actual name is suspicious. Okay? Suspicious.
I agree. Yeah.
So, I don't know why everybody's blaming us. Come on.
Okay, speaking of the McAlberts really quick, whoever on Discord posted the video of Jackson standing in the front yard of the McAlberts house, screaming out, and somebody inside recording it. It's on the Discord. I forget which channel. Somebody else tells. It was interesting. You could hear AJ every time he screamed.
Oh, is this like a real, like they were testing it out?
Yes, they were testing it.
I haven't been able to be over there.
Hottie Jackson was testing it.
Oh, I love that. I'm definitely going to check. By the way, if you guys enjoy us being live in the chatters, we do have a Discord server where we all hang out when we're not live and streaming to you guys. It's called the Courtyard. If you don't know how it works, that's okay. Just go ahead and join. We are all very friendly and we'll help teach you how it works. But that's where we all hang out. We watch shows together, documentaries, talk about true crime. You can find court documents, the whole shebang. So that is where we all are. And you can see that Alan Jackson video she was just talking about.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we share personal. We get to know you a little bit better. It's like a cool place.
That's true. I haven't been able to be on much lately, but I try to be on as often as I can.
You need to get a new producer is what I'm thinking, because your producer is not helping you out. Oh, wait a minute. You are the producer. Sorry. You need
Wait.
to just talk to yourself, sweetheart.
And Amy's sitting there like, "What'd you say?" Just kidding.
She is not, she is the AP, or is she the producer of your
She
show?
is, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
she
I
is.
did
That's
not
okay.
see. They didn't discuss that with me. I am so sorry, Miss.
It's
I
okay.
thought she was the producer of her own show.
I mean, no, I'm the star. I'm just
You are
kidding.
the star. Okay. God, you people are so
All
much.
right. I
Now,
know.
these insights did help humanize the case for law enforcement and underscored a calculated mindset that did not align with Lonnie's public claims of grief. Bill also took his own polygraph test to prove he was being truthful. Okay, guys, this strengthened that he was not in on it.
Mm.
He was not in on it.
I mean, I'd probably do the same thing
They're in
too.
bed.
Where's the goats? They're sleeping.
The goats are in bed.
Now, at the request of investigators, Bill began recording his phone conversations with Lonnie. Oh, that's right. Playing the role of a supportive friend while gently drawing out inconsistencies in Lonnie's story. These conversations revealed a man speaking in legal terms rather than emotional ones. Someone focused more on evidence gaps than the loss of a loved one. Bill's decision to come forward, record these calls, and stand by the truth would prove to be a turning point, breathing new life into a case that might otherwise have gone cold. I mean, Bill is
I'm
the
going to
hero of this story, if you guys didn't know
just
that.
say Bill Price is the hero. If
He
it
is.
wasn't for him, I personally don't think Mickey would have ever gotten justice.
I think they would have had a very difficult time.
Yeah. Now, he approached each call as a trusted confidant, calm, non accusatory, and prompting Lonnie to share details. These calls revealed a disconcerting pattern.
Mm.
Lonnie repeatedly avoided emotional expressions and instead maintained that legalistic tone, which, guys, I get he is attorney, but not when a loved one. I'm sorry. I think you,
I mean, sometimes you got to take your work hats off and it's okay.
but
Like,
I don't
literally,
think you have a choice in a traumatic situation if you truly love that person. I personally don't think Lonnie could love anyone but himself, but that's just me.
I mean, there's people I don't even love that I would still be torn apart and like
I
wanting
don't
to
think
figure it
Lonnie
out.
knows the concept of love.
Yeah.
But he focused obsessively on forensic specifics, fixating on Mickey's bodies, her injuries, and the absences of witnesses. In one unsettling moment, he referred to his, as we mentioned, his ex-wife simply as the body.
Hmm.
Like the McAlberts. That totally screwed him up, guys. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after Bill Price handed over the recordings and information to federal authorities, the trajectory of the investigation into Mickey's death changed dramatically. What had long lingered in limbo as a suspicious but unproven death was now rapidly transforming into a well supported homicide case. Bill's recordings, particularly with Amy's taped confession that Lonnie had admitted to planning Mickey's death before the cruise, were treated as game changing evidence. These weren't just offhand comments, they pointed to clear premeditation and manipulation, delivered by someone Lonnie had trusted to keep quiet. Too bad for you, Lonnie. With Bill's cooperation and the tapes in hand, investigators now had a compelling narrative backed by real voices, and that will get you in court every time.
I'm like, you're screwed. You are
Yikes.
screwed at that
Because
point.
at that point, when you get recorded, your only choice then is to take the stand. And if you don't take the stand,
Yeah, no, I
you're
agree.
getting found guilty. It's not a good idea. It's not great.
Do you want me
It's
to
not
just
great.
throw something out there to make everybody's head spin?
Hmm.
If this was to happen in today's time, what if it was AI?
Don't
that
even get
made
me
that.
started on AI, but that's a whole different episode. We can talk about that in members only. I have opinions
I
about
do
all of
too,
that.
because
I
I've
don't like
said
it.
before on here, I had somebody who called me, several former coworkers, my voice was used that they stole from YouTube for the
Mhm.
podcast. So, guys, we're gonna have to start thinking about the audio part. Instead of just listening, record with cameras, people.
This was 2006, though, you guys.
I know.
Well, a couple years. It was the aughts when
Okay,
this
I'm
was
just saying
taking
now
place.
you need to start using. So, the good news, the fallout for Lonnie was immediate and damning. Okay. Law enforcement began re examining his financial records, discovering that shortly after Mickey's death, Lonnie attempted to transfer nearly $1 million from accounts that had been in Mickey's name or shared between them. Prosecutors also uncovered that he had purchased property with Amy after the cruise using
Mm.
some of those funds. Guys, he was trying to pull Amy into this shit too. I personally think he was trying to set her up somehow. I don't know how,
Hmm.
but I don't know. The financial movers helped support the special circumstances charges of financial gain. Investigators also took a closer look at the timeline of Lonnie's behavior, including his detour to see Amy, his quick return to California, and his legal efforts to access Mickey's estate.
Mm.
All of it, guys, as we know, made us picture a man who was not concerned with the loss of an ex. He was more worried about the logistics and the money.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But in 2013, you guys, Lonnie was arrested and charged with first-degree murder with the special circumstance of financial gain. Oh, he lost the mustache. He initially denied the allegations and mounted a vigorous legal defense. His attorneys argued issues of jurisdiction since Mickey's body was recovered in Italy and challenged the admissibility of key evidence. But prosecutors held firm. Oh, they sure did. The combination of physical evidence from Mickey's autopsy, digital trails, emails, and financial records, and testimonial evidence, particularly Bill's recordings, created a solid foundation. The judge ruled that California did have jurisdiction because the planning and motive, especially the financial ones, originated there. The
Yes.
legal proceedings dragged on for several years with numerous delays and defense motions, of course, but he probably didn't think all that through, did he?
Guys, you know what I found out while researching this?
Hmm.
If Double H was to have planned this in Texas and then did this to me, they would have gone for the death penalty in Texas because you
I thought
planned it here in the state. It's
well,
an extra
California has it
charge
too, but
because in Texas, you went across state and international lines to create,
mm.
crime.
Oh,
It's
that's
extra
the
charges.
oh, I see what you're
It's
saying
like
now.
automatic death. There would be no
Interesting.
chance
Wow.
of life without parole. He would
Wow.
be he would be a goner because Texas puts them to they kill them.
I mean,
So, Double
wow.
H, as you're listening, you need to get a better plan. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Now, during
Mm.
the delays of the legal stuff, Lonnie, guys, just buckle up, okay? We already hate him, but just get ready.
Oh,
Lonnie tried to hire someone to kill Amy
yes.
so that she could not testify against him. Guys, I told you he was a piece of shit. Now, that someone was Lonnie's cellmate and another inmate with gang connections so that they could make her death like a gang murder. The cellmate told his lawyer, and both of the inmates recorded Lonnie when he talked to them from then on. They also set him up with a guy on the outside who was actually a cop. But guys, thankfully, Lonnie was stupid. He was smart, but he was stupid. This plot was discovered and Lonnie was not successful. I mean, he was intelligent. He graduated with honors. He was stupid. In my opinion.
I mean, no, it's real friggin' stupid, but That's Lonnie.
But let's just hear, because you're going to tell us how even stupider he was. And
Well,
that's
I
a new
mean,
word.
he was successful though in having 2 counts of solicitation to commit murder and 1 count of solicitation to bribe a witness added to his charges. Yeah, good job, Lonnie,
He was
nailing it.
successful.
See, he wanted the killer to have Amy sign a letter saying that she had lied to the police about Lonnie wanting to kill Mickey. After she signed, they were supposed to kill her. Sir, oh my goodness,
I mean,
something else
seriously?
crazy.
This guy was a successful, smart attorney. Even in finance, an attorney of any type should have known this wasn't the way to go.
I mean, there's always bad people at their jobs, right? Doesn't mean he was graduating all A's in law school and got high marks on the bar exam, right? There's got to be a lower
I
level.
said he was a good attorney. I think greed clouded his judgment. And then it just, if you back somebody into the wall, I think he was trying anything he could. He was like, I'm already going to go to jail for life. What's one more?
His own hubris gets them every time.
By the time the trial finally began in 2020, the prosecution had a well-organized and damning case. Guys, Bill testified at length, walking the jury through his taped conversations with Lonnie, his meeting with Amy. And he had to admit the moment he realized his friend had used him as a cover for murder. And he went on to recount Lonnie's tone in the recordings was void of sorrow and filled instead, like we said, with legal stuff. Now, Amy's recorded confession was also played for the jury, delivering a chilling firsthand account of Lonnie's manipulation tactics and his alleged attempts to make her feel fear Bill. Can't even talk. Fear Bill himself. The wine just kicked in. That is great. I love it. That is him with an Amish beard.
I was on mute. I'm sorry, because I had a train coming through. Yes, for some reason, this man can grow a mustache in the 90s, but by 2020, only neck beard. So, okay. Now, during the trial, the prosecution laid out a clear timeline of premeditation. They presented forensic evidence, including the autopsy results showing strangulation and lack of water in Mickey's lungs, proving she was dead before she entered the sea. They also outlined Lonnie's financial actions after her death, transferring the large sums of money, purchasing property, and trying to consolidate assets previously in Mickey's name. Most damning, however, were the recorded conversations between Lonnie and Bill Price and Amy's confession, which revealed Lonnie's calculated and cold demeanor and his attempts to manipulate those closest to him.
Now, in July 2020, after years of delays, twists, and all of the investigative breakthroughs, Lonnie thankfully was convicted of the first-degree murder of his ex-wife, Micki Kanesaki. After just an hour of deliberations, the jury found that, an hour.
That is not great.
An hour, guys. But not only had he killed Mickey, he had done so with the special circumstances of financial gain, plotting her death in order to claim over $1 million in shared assets and life insurance. Now, guys, the verdict marked the end of a case that had remained unsolved for 14 years and offered long awaited justice to Mickey's family, friends, and those who fought to uncover the truth behind her death. Now, since Lonnie was sentenced to life in prison without parole, the DA's office dropped the additional charges for solicitation against Amy and bribing a witness. Good news, Lonnie filed an appeal. He was denied. He was sold, suck it up, buttercup.
Shocking to no one. Now,
this judge, that is so not a
Kind
bad
of looks
look.
a little bit like Bryan Cranston. Like Bryan
He
Cranston would
definitely
make a
looks got a
good.
Cranston look.
I love it. So for Mickey's loved ones, the conviction brought a sense of closure, but of course not peace, right? It never does. The brutal nature of her death and the betrayal by someone she had once trusted left scars that no sins could erase. Friends described Mickey as independent, accomplished, and kind, a woman who deserved more than to become the target of a cold, calculated plot. And I agree. I agree. Rest in peace, Mickey. And
Yes.
it's just so frustrating because it just never needed to happen. Let's get into our closing thoughts real quick, you guys. Because one, I still don't understand. He has a buttload of money anyway. He is a lawyer. Why are you doing this for a finance? Like, I can't wrap my head. He controlled her money anyway. So, like,
Exactly.
what is the point? They're not even legally married. So it's not like if he wanted to be with Amy, she would, I don't know.
He could have just taken all of the money. She put him on the account.
Yeah,
He could have just taken it all. There was no reason to kill her.
I don't understand. I don't understand. And listen, this guy, obviously, I think we can all agree, he is just something else. This guy, he thought he was so clever and smarter than everyone else, but arrogance will get you every time, for sure. And it sounds like Amy is lucky to be alive. And I hope she is living a good life now because I don't believe for a second she ever wanted or thought or considered anything that happened in the first place because it's Lonnie and he's not a very truthful guy in reality, right?
I
And
think,
a
yeah.
real shout out to Bill because without him, Mickey probably would never get the justice that she deserved.
And I agree with you. I hope Amy is living a good life because Lonnie never loved her.
No,
I personally wonder if he married her setting this plan up. They were only married for a couple of months.
that's true.
And then he got her to buy property. I think it was a long-term plan. Attorneys plan ahead. They have to try to plan, "Oh, what if this happens? What if this happens?" I think he set her up from the beginning.
Well, we know he's a man of strategy. We've just talked about it for the last
Exactly
hour and
so.
42 minutes.
I
That's his
think
go-to thinking.
I don't think he ever loved her. I
It's
don't.
too bad.
All I can ever say about Lonnie is that he was never an Alan Jackson. And I'm not talking about the country music star, guys. He may have wanted to be. When they say he was successful in LA, he was not Alan Jackson successful in LA. Because I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm guessing Alan Jackson's house costs more than $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me. That is just my 2 cents. But
Oh,
all
yeah.
I can say about Lonnie is he sucks. I don't like him. And he is exactly where he needs to be. And I hope they take care of him every time he drops the soap.
I'll just say we didn't really bring this up, but it is crazy. She died in 2006. This trial, what, 2020?
2020.
That many years it took justice to get for Mickey. And sometimes justice moves slow. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but guess what? They got it and they got it good.
As I say,
So,
and I would rather them be slow and do it right than rush to judgment like the Commonwealth. But guys, before we go, if you like what you heard tonight, be sure to follow all of our socials and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's totally free, guys. You get to see us for free. Okay, for free. Now, if you're listening on the podcast apps, please download, give us a rating. All of that helps us tremendously in getting our podcast out there. But I also want to tell you, if you're listening on the podcast apps, you need to go and see the craziness that you miss on screen with us. There's a lot of facial expressions. There's a lot of comments.
That's true.
There's a whole lot that you're missing out on. Okay. And I don't want you to miss out on it. Now, next week, we will not have our normal true crime and wine time on Thursday night because it is right before the 4th of July. But guys, we are going to have a very special Tuesday evening episode of a special true crime and kid time. Monkey Butt, my granddaughter, will be our guest and she will present the Lion King case, The Murderer Scar. So be sure to be here
I
for
am so
this
excited about
Tuesday
this.
at 8 p.m. Eastern for something a little different than usual. Guys, she was given a full outline to fill out, you know me. And then she had to come in front of the producer to hear why she needed to do all of this. And Lama and I will be there. We will be asking her questions. We are going to make sure she knows her shit.
Yeah. I mean, she's getting trained by the best over here.
So
I'm
please
so
join
excited about it.
us.
It's going to be so cute and wholesome. A little change of play, something lighthearted, no high stakes or consequences. And I'm sure Monkey Butt's going to do an amazing job. I'm so excited to
And
hear
it gets us into the holiday weekend for 4th of July. We don't need any of that other stuff.
That's right. Now, if you need more of Terry and I, you can always find us doing something here on our True Crime and Wine Time YouTube channel. There is a buttload of content. So if we're not on, there is something for everyone. Because every Monday and Wednesday, Terry hosts her show, Midday Missing, where she covers missing person cases that don't seem to get a lot of attention. You can also find these on anywhere you listen to podcasts. We've turned those into podcast forms now. Now, she is taking a little bit of hiatus, but she will be back July 7th with all new episodes of Midday Missing. Then I have my show, Couch Court with Llama, where we are currently deep diving into the Crystal Rogers case. I mean, and when I say deep diving, I mean
you're going deep.
Like very, very deep. And I will be covering the trial as that's going on right now, but it's not on video or audio. So we kind of got to wait for stuff to come out, but I will be covering that as well. Now, I'm also finally finishing up Couch Court with Llama After Dark, my multi-part series, which is all about the Sean Diddy Combs federal sex trafficking and RICO case. You guys, some of the stuff that has come out about that has been absolutely shocking to hear. If you want, I mean, it seems a little dark, but I also, it's wild,
I mean,
okay?
let's be honest. The things you have had to say have been priceless.
Yeah. Whatever you think should be on your bingo card, nope. It's going to be a whole different bingo card than you could expect. But you can find all of my coverage on that with our U.S. Versus Sean Diddy Combs playlist. And if you become a member on our YouTube channel, Terry and I are doing members only live shows every week, once a week for the month of July. We're coming up with new things to do with July for our members. So I don't want to spoil anything yet, but they are a lot of fun. You can become a member by clicking the join button and selecting which tier best suits you. It is through the memberships, through your guys' support, that we can keep the lights on and the true crime stories flowing. Oh, that's.
And guys, remember, by being a member, you get to live see our live stream shows.
Yeah.
I have a show that we're working on that will be coming up in the next couple of months here in Austin that I will be doing on the Rodney Reed case. And if you live in Texas or adjacent, you know a lot about it. So by being a member, you get to watch it almost like you're there with us.
I'm very excited about what we have coming for our members only soon. And if you guys can't afford to be a member, that's okay. That's okay. I did not mention, but if you do click the join button, you're going, well, 80s Music Man says, rub it in my face. I'm gray. Can't be at the members only. Well, guess what, 80s Music Man? You click the join button, and up in the top right-hand corner will be 3 little dots. You click that and you will see gift membership settings. Turn that on because we have very generous chatters that gift memberships all the time, and you could have a chance of getting a free membership. They have no choice. It's random by YouTube.
Even Jasper got a membership.
I know.
The goat. It is
Our
truly
community is so kind.
I wasn't even the one who gifted it. So guys, I want to thank you all for joining us. And I know y'all probably get tired of hearing me say this, but guys, please stay safe. Take care of yourself. And if you see something, say something. And until next time, please enjoy your wine time because I've missed out on it the last couple of weeks. And I have caught up tonight. That's all I got left.
Well, you guys, thank you everyone for listening and supporting us. Until next time, take care of your mind, take care of each other, and never stop asking the hard questions. Now, go forth and be amazing. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye,